Hey Virgo, this is your look at the astrology of June 2021. My name is Katie Sweetman, and this is Empowering Astrology. And, just like Mercury is retrograde for most of this month, these horoscopes are a little bit in retrograde. So thank you for being patient as you waited for this month's horoscopes. Let's take a look, Virgo. So lots going on. We're in Gemini season, and Gemini forms the top of your chart. It talks about career, it talks about direction, it talks about the duties and responsibilities that you have on a larger scale. And this is a eclipse season as well. We're going to have a Gemini solar eclipse on June 10th. So maybe you are seeing some changes in your professional life. This solar eclipse it's a new moon. Solar eclipses are always new moons. New moons are new beginnings. But solar eclipses, they open a 6-month chapter that we sort of work through this archetype of change. And for you, it's something about change in your professional life. And if you are thinking, wait, what? Huh? You're already feeling this. This is not new information. In fact, you had a lunar eclipse in this part of your life at the end of November of 2020. But this is the first solar eclipse in a series of solar lunar eclipses throughout Gemini and Sagittarius. Sagittarius is your sign of home and family. So maybe you've been seeing some changes in your home life because there was a lunar eclipse on May 26th last month. But as you go into this month, I talk about eclipse season. Eclipse season is a time when the curtain comes down on one act, the curtain comes up on another. Just so right now it's happening in your professional life. And this is what I said a few moments ago. This probably is not catching you completely off guard because eclipse energy starts to come in a month before. Sometimes even a little bit more than a month before. It's like there is this sense of like things are shifting, things are changing, and maybe you've already seen the job change. Maybe you saw the job change back in May, or for some people maybe it was April. And if you're thinking, what job change? This is going to manifest differently for everybody. There's a sense of maybe in your career it's time for the next chapter. So maybe you get a promotion, maybe you make a move, maybe you switch gears, maybe you go in a different direction. The last time we had a solar eclipse in Gemini was actually way back in 2012. I know. And I think this series was at the when I say the series, solar lunar eclipses, they actually repeat. They repeat every 9, every 18 years. So we just have to go back to the end of 2011 to see these eclipses, sort of the echo of these eclipses. So maybe look back to what your professional life looked like in 2011 going into 2012 and connect the dots if there are any dots to connect. But that said, let's sort of start with the top of the month. And on the 2nd of June, Venus goes into Cancer. So for you, Virgo, Cancer is your sign of friends and community. It helps you to look out into the future and to hope and to dream and to wish. And Venus is also helping you connect to your social circle, maybe not to feel so isolated, maybe to bring in new friendships or to tend to old relationships. And maybe old relationships is where you want to start because Cancer is a sign of nostalgia. It's about a sign of the past. And it's like, who are your friends? Who are your old friends? Who do you need to reconnect with? But Venus is giving you a little bit of a boost. We also have some pretty intense energy going up into June 5th as Mars makes an opposition to Pluto. So for you, you might feel that in a way that is about like emotions coming up for you, maybe things that you need to say, maybe even releasing some deep secrets. We'll see. But that energy is a little bit intense as you go into the end of the first week of June. And then, of course, as I was saying a few moments ago, it's Gemini season, and we have a Gemini solar eclipse on June 10th at 19 degrees of Gemini. So Again, I don't have to necessarily repeat myself, but changes in your professional life. Do keep in mind that this month until June 22nd, Mercury, which is not just your relationship planet, but it's also you, Virgo, because Mercury is your planet, it's retrograde. This is something, as you know, it happens every 3 months. It's not something to lose a lot of sleep over, but there's maybe with this new time, there's a need to be more receptive than active. There's a need to surrender more, for example. Something may be coming into your life around that new moon or even going into the coming weeks and months. But if you want to make a change in your professional life, maybe it looks different than what the ego wants, because that solar eclipse is going to make a square to Neptune in Pisces. You have Neptune over in your relationship sign. It's been there since 2012. But maybe in order to move forward and take that next step up in life, you have to negotiate with a partner. There's something about relationships, something about connection and balance, but there's also something about compassion, letting go, surrender, and maybe allowing some things to happen in your professional life instead of being really active and going after things. We also have Mars going into Leo on June 11th. For you, Leo is what's called your 12th sign. 12th sign is the last sign in any chart. And when Mars gets to this area, we tend to need to rest. We tend to need to go within. For you, like Leo is the sign of creativity. It's just for you, the sign of creativity, or this, this archetype of creativity is also connected to the energy of spirituality and rest and recuperation and meditation and retreat. So maybe really go within to find that creative Leo energy. And again, don't forget to rest. But Mars, Mars is action. So it's usually a time when it's like the action is starting to come to the end of some long chapter. Yeah, every 2 years, Mars will kind of come back to this part of your chart. And then on the 14th of June, Saturn makes its second square to Uranus. Now, this is something that is unfolding all year long. We have Saturn as your planet of, I have to do the quick math, health and wellness, and also how you express yourself, but then it's making a square to Uranus. So Uranus is up in your 9th sign, and I think that this square all year long, and particularly this month, it's asking you to see things differently. It's asking you to maybe shift how you express who you are and connect to who you are, because maybe you can get a little stuck in something, stuck in your ways. We all get stuck in our ways, but Uranus is trying to open your eyes right now. It's trying to get you to see things differently, open up to new perspectives, new beliefs, new faiths, new truths. So see how that plays into your life in the middle of June. And then on June 20th, Jupiter turns retrograde in Pisces. Just go back, I believe it was May 13th. It was either the 11th or 13th, I can't remember, that Jupiter went into Pisces. And Jupiter in this part of your chart, it does create a lot of growth and expansion and new opportunities to connect to other people, whether it's romantic or otherwise. So maybe a relationship kind of came in the last 4 weeks, or maybe something shifted with you and somebody else, but something to pay attention to. But retrogrades aren't bad. It's just a change in energy. It's no longer active, it's now receptive. It no longer needs to do and create. Now it needs to reflect and to gather. So you're sort of turning a turning point in relationships. And then also on the same day, June 20th, we have the summer solstice here in the northern hemisphere, winter solstice for those that are watching in the southern hemisphere. And it's the beginning of Cancer season. So Leo, when you get to Cancer season, you're now at the sign that is before you. So there is a sense that you have come to the end of your personal calendar. It's time to go inward. It's time to reflect. It's time to prepare for the next chapter. And if you're thinking, but wait, I have Mars and Venus in Leo the rest of the month, aren't I like going out and getting things done? It's both. I mean, that's the thing about astrology. Sometimes it's two contradictory stories. You're like, you need to rest and prepare, but at the same time, you're ready to go. You got Mars and Leo for the second half of this month. Cancer season also helps you to connect to your intuition, your feelings, your deepest feelings, your unconscious, and your psyche. And then Mercury will turn direct on June 22nd. So if that's something that you're really concerned and paying attention to and waiting for the direct, maybe you need to wait till after the 22nd to say yes to something or to move forward with something. And then on June 24th, we have that Capricorn full moon. That's full moon at 3 degrees of Capricorn. So Capricorn for you is your sign of the self-expression, personality, persona, creativity, even children. It's the sign that helps you to really get in touch with what is it about you, that essence, so to speak, and how you use that essence to create from, to put your stamp on something. It doesn't have to be art. You know, we all create. We just create in our own ways. And Virgo, maybe you create by just really organizing things, or Virgo's talents is really in this ability to conceptualize systems, because Virgo actually has this connection to Aquarius. That's a whole other sidebar, but maybe you're looking at the systems of your life right now and you're like, maybe I need to make some changes in the systems of my life because the current system is not working. But this full moon does ask you to be yourself, to remember who you are, even if that means moving a lot of things in order to do so. And I think when Mercury turns direct on the 22nd, it is going to do in that square to Neptune that's been having all month long. And I think it's just a reminder that, to be yourself, but sometimes to be yourself means to let go and release of something that is not you, for example, including grudges, anything emotional, for example. Just let it go. Life's too short, Virgo. Then on the 25th of June, Neptune turns retrograde. I believe, at 24 Pisces. But that end of June, with the Neptune energy in the background of things, maybe we're just feeling more emotional. We're like, why am I more emotional than usual? You're like, well, it's Cancer season. I'm like, Cancer season and Neptune turning retrograde. It's a time to feel, intuit, go within, pull back, let go, forgive, to really not get caught in our illusions and fantasies, and to surrender the ego always. And then, speaking of ego, Venus goes into Leo. Leo is the ego. That ego can either be big as the sun and as joyful as the sun and inspires people and uplifts people, or it's something else. So there's duality in all of the signs, but Venus, I love Venus and Leo. Venus and Leo is like, it's regal, it loves a party, it loves fun, it loves creativity, and for all of us, we get to benefit as we go into July. And as we round up the month, this will happen on July 1st, but Mars will be making something called an opposition to Saturn. This is typically some intense energy, especially because it's picking up on Saturn square Uranus. So things are shifting. And this is going to be more so for other signs, but I think it's worthwhile to mention as we close our time together, is that throughout 2021, it is as if you have one foot in a new life and one foot in an old life. And you are feeling that split, that tension between these two parts of your life. And there are these periodic moments throughout 2021. June 14th is one of them, but we actually might also find that July 1st-ish is another, where you are really feeling that pull, that push. And how do you resolve that? What's the decision you're going to make? So we all have to decide how we're going to live this energy. That's why we have free will. So that is your look at the astrology of June of 2021. Virgo, thank you for joining me. My name is Katie Sweetman. This is Empowering Astrology. You can find me online at empoweringastrology.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. You can sign up for my newsletter. Watch me every week on Mondays for your weekly look at the astrology. And of course, book a consultation with me. Everything's at my website, empoweringastrology.com. I look forward to seeing you all next month. Until then, take care of yourself, Virgo. Lots of psychic energy happening right now because of the eclipses, and things just might look a bit different as we go into July. So take care, Virgo. Bye.